Imagine this, you've just bought a gorgeous velvet robe, dyed in a deep, royal purple. You strut through the streets, feeling like royalty, until suddenly, guards appear, grab you by the arm, and drag you off to face punishment. Your crime? Dressing above your station. Welcome to the strange world of sumptuary laws, where your fashion choices could get you fined, imprisoned, or worse. During the Middle Ages, what you wore wasn't just about personal style, it was a matter of law. From England to France, Italy to Japan, rulers controlled fashion with iron-fisted rules. The goal? To make sure no one dared to dress like their social superiors. The medieval world was obsessed with hierarchy. Kings were on top, nobles just below them, and the peasant. Well, they were expected to stay in their place. Clothing became a visual marker of status, but as the merchant class grew richer, commoners started dressing fancier. The nobility hated this. How dare a mere merchant wear silk? That's for lords and ladies only. And so, sumptuary laws were born. Kings and lawmakers created strict rules on who could wear what. Velvet, silk, fur, gold embroidery, reserved for the elite. Peasants? They were stuck with rough wool and plain colours. Now, let's talk about some of the weirdest sumptuary laws ever written. England's purple ban. During the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, only royals and certain nobles could wear purple. Why? Because the dye was rare and expensive. If a commoner was caught in purple, fines or worse. Fur for the wealthy. In medieval France, only nobles could wear ermine or fox fur. If a farmer dared to wear even a scrap of it, they could be whipped. Gold embroidery, the forbidden thread. In Italy, even the thread you used could be illegal. In 1363, Florence banned gold embroidery for commoners, claiming it was too extravagant. The shoe wars. And then, there were shoes. In England, shoes with long, pointed toes, called poulaines, were restricted to the upper class. The longer the toe, the higher your status. Some nobles wore shoes so long, they had to be tied to their knees to walk properly. Breaking sumptuary laws wasn't just a slap on the wrist. Penalties could be brutal. If you wore silk without permission, you could be heavily fined. In some cases, clothes were confiscated on the spot. In Japan, defying sumptuary laws could even lead to execution. Imagine being sentenced to death because of a shirt. As time passed, these laws became harder to enforce. By the 17th century, wealthy merchants and traders were too powerful to be controlled by fashion rules. Eventually, sumptuary laws faded away, but their influence remains. Even today, fashion is still linked to status. Designer brands, exclusive materials, and even dress codes in elite circles all stem from the same idea, controlling who gets to wear what.
What if sumptuary laws were still around? Imagine getting fined for wearing Gucci or Nike without a permit. Sounds crazy, right? But for centuries, this was real life. So, what do you think? Were sumptuary laws a ridiculous abuse of power or a smart way to maintain social order? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into medieval madness, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more.